He destroyed the entire cover-up narrative, exposing hidden names, sealed files, and broken promises the FBI hoped to bury. And now you'll watch Director Patel get cornered by the very words he once used.
Yields back. Gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Thank you kindly, Mr. Chairman. Director Patel, before you joined the FBI, you railed against it for covering up Jeffrey Epstein's human trafficking ring. Let me refresh your memory with this clip.
It has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale? Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
So you finished that December 2023 interview with a challenge to the FBI and harsh words for Republicans in Congress for not getting the Epstein files out to the public. You can see this clip.
Boy pants, and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are, you said. You emphasized that the president and FBI director each had complete authority to release Epstein's client list. You said Epstein's black book is under the, quote, direct control of the director of the FBI. Look at this clip.
This is way off the topic, but who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black book?
black book?
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
Oh, that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
All right, so you were sworn in as director more than 200 days ago. Now the black book is under your direct control. So why haven't you released the names of Epstein's co-conspirators in the rape and sex trafficking of young women and girls?
The Rolodex, which is what everybody colloquially refers to as the Black Book, has been released.
Oh, no, you're talking about what the journalist got 5 years ago? No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what you were talking about there, the black
exactly
book
what I
under
was
the direct control of the FBI director.
We have released more material than anyone else before. The Biden administration, Obama administration had the exact opportunities to release this material, and they never did. And if you are telling the men and women of the FBI,
Why
we're not
have you
going after
changed your
child
position?
predators. Hang on, you said we're not going after child predators. 1,500 child predators arrested this year, 35% increase,
I'll reclaim my time.
4,700 child victims
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to
found.
reclaim my time if you could instruct the witness. Why have you changed your position? There you were saying it's under the direct control of the FBI director and all of it should be released. Why have you changed your position?
Everything that has been lawfully permitted to be released has been released. And as I told you,
Really?
the investigation was limited. And let me make something crystal clear. I never said Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic other people, other women, and they're not other victims. This is the investigation we were given from 2006, 7, and 8, and the search warrants from 2006, 7, and 8. That's what we're working with.
Well, wait, have you released all of the stuff that the FBI has seized from Epstein's house? The computers, the emails, the file cabinets, the documents? What about the financial records? Have you released all of that?
Everything the court has allowed us to
Which
release.
court are you talking about?
3 separate federal courts have come in and said...
We're talking about the evidence you've got. It's got nothing to do with what those courts have.
Do you have any idea how the law works?
Wait,
do you want me to break the law in a federal judge's order?
No, I want you to follow your own
curiosity?
word, Director Patel. You said up there it was under the direct control of the FBI director. He had the black book.
Everything I have direct control over, we have gone to court. You haven't.
Complete your sentence. Everything you have direct control over, you said.
Have gone to court, and everything we have direct control
Patel,
over.
Complete your sentence. You said everything.
Release. We're releasing.
He'd like to complete his answer.
You began the sentence, everything you have direct control over, and then you stopped that sentence. You've released everything that you have direct control over?
And I have direct control over and can lawfully release. If you're not familiar with the court orders, that's not my fault.
Oh, I'm
Go
perfectly,
look at them.
I'm perfectly familiar
court.
with them. But how did we prosecute Ghislaine Maxwell?
She was prosecuted with the investigatory material that was collected from 2001 and 2005 because of the non-prosecution agreements and the court orders on the investigations and search warrants. We were not able to develop new information. And oh, by the way, Jeffrey Epstein was out for 12 years, and the Obama and Biden administration did nothing to look at his work, his pedophile network. If you want to blame me, that's fine. But now you're blaming the men and women who conducted this great search.
Stop that. I'm not blaming anybody other than you. You're not keeping your word. You said that you would release all of the materials under your direct control.
Has anyone released more information on Epstein than I have? Has anyone?
Much
did
more.
Comey, did Wray?
Much more.
Did
Excuse me. Much more has come out in the days since the American people in Congress have been demanding it, but it's coming out in dribs and drabs. Why don't you just release the entire file as you promised to do?
I literally just told you, there are multiple federal court orders. I'm not going to break the law to satisfy your curiosity. You didn't join us when we filed court to release the court orders. You could have. You have lawyers. You could have shown up. You didn't do that.
That's a tiny fraction of the material we're talking
That is
about.
not.
It is a tiny fraction.
How do you know that? Have you seen everything?
It's all misdirection.
How do you know
Time
that?
of the gentleman has expired. The gentleman from California.
What you just witnessed was a collapse in real time, a collapse of credibility, of consistency, and of the carefully constructed narrative that federal institutions have tried to maintain for years regarding Jeffrey Epstein, his network, and the powerful individuals who may have benefited from his exploitation of young women and girls. This wasn't merely a political disagreement. This was a confrontation between past statements and present power, between what Director Patel demanded before he entered the FBI and what he now refuses to do as the person in charge. In today's hearing, members of Congress brought Patel face to face with his own words, clips where he accused the FBI of shielding the world's most prolific predator, where he insisted that the Black Book was under direct control of the FBI director, where he challenged Republicans and Democrats alike to put on their big boy pants and reveal the names of Epstein's co-conspirators. Those words were not ambiguous. They were bold, accusatory, and absolute. Patel claimed the president and the FBI director had full authority to release Epstein's client list. He claimed the Black Book was under his direct administrative power, and he promised transparency. But now, more than 200 days into his tenure as FBI director, not only has he failed to deliver those disclosures, he has adopted the same defensive posture he previously condemned, arguing that his hands are tied, that courts won't allow releases, that the investigation was limited, that the search warrants were narrow, that non-prosecution agreements prevent transparency. Yet these excuses contradict what was said in the hearing. Multiple courts did not restrict disclosure of seized physical evidence, computers, hard drives, files, 302 interview forms, and financial records. Documents from Epstein's home and offices, materials the FBI physically possesses, have not been released. So when Patel claims everything lawfully permitted has been released, the natural question is, who decides what is permitted? And why does the standard seem to shift depending on political convenience? This is where the systemic issue becomes impossible to ignore. Institutions protect themselves. They protect their reputations, their relationships, and the powerful individuals who intersect with them. When congressman after congressman presented articles referencing Epstein's intelligence ties, meetings with CIA officials, top-level Obama administration figures, former Israeli military intelligence, billionaires, celebrities, and global elites, the director had no answers, only evasions. He admitted he had not personally reviewed the FD 302 documents where victims allegedly named more than 20 men, including a bank CEO royalty, billionaires, Hollywood figures, a former politician, and a Canadian mogul. The FBI has these documents. Survivors cooperated. Names exist in the files, yet no indictments, no investigations, and not even a public acknowledgement that these individuals were ever questioned. The emotional core of this moment cannot be overstated. Survivors, many of whom were abused as minors, risked everything to speak out. They trusted law enforcement. They trusted the FBI. And now the director of that institution refuses to meet them personally, despite attending White House events for influencers, despite being present for media-focused release ceremonies. He would meet people who benefit from the spectacle, but not the women who live the trauma. This is where anger turns to heartbreak, and heartbreak turns to urgency. How many times must survivors be told to wait? How many times must they be told the investigation is limited? How many times must they watch institutions defend protocols instead of defending victims? And let's ask the question plainly. If the FBI possesses 100,000 pages of Epstein materials, as confirmed by Judge Engler, why have only small, selective, redacted fragments been shared with the public? Why are documents released only in dribs and drabs, as the congressman said? Why did the release of files suspiciously coincide with a discharge petition in Congress, triggering a rushed release that exposed victims' names without redaction, further injuring those who already suffered? These are not coincidences. They are patterns, and patterns reveal intent. The intent here appears painfully clear. Protect the institution, protect the elite, protect anyone whose name appearing in Epstein's orbit could destabilize political, financial, or intelligence networks. And this raises a chilling question. If this is how the system handles one of the most high-profile sex trafficking cases in history, how does it handle the thousands of cases involving victims without political leverage, without media attention, without Congress demanding answers? Survivors deserve transparency. Americans deserve truth. Justice demands accountability. And accountability cannot exist when those in power rewrite their own history, evade their own words, and pretend they never had the authority they once bragged about. The congressman's questioning revealed that Patel's transformation is not rooted in legal reality, but institutional assimilation. Before power, he railed against the FBI. After obtaining power, he became its defender. This is the cycle that corrupts Washington. Critics become participants, participants become gatekeepers, and gatekeepers become shields for the very systems they once condemned. And the people left behind, the victims, are forced to relive their trauma every time someone in authority says, there was no credible information, even when those victims provided names, details, and sworn statements. It is impossible to watch this hearing and not ask, how many names are being protected? How many connections lead back to political donors, intelligence contacts, global financiers, and influential power brokers? And if Epstein belonged to intelligence, as Acosta reportedly said, then how deep does this go? How many agencies have files that have never seen daylight? How many court orders are being selectively interpreted? How many excuses are being deployed to prevent the public from seeing the full truth? No one is above the Constitution. Not FBI directors, not intelligence agencies, not billionaires, not former presidents, not foreign actors, not global elites who mingled with Epstein. And certainly not those who participated in or enabled a trafficking network that destroyed the lives of young women and girls. So here is the call to action, not just for viewers, but for anyone who believes in accountability. Demand the full release of the Epstein files. Demand oversight. Demand transparency. Demand that institutions serve the people, not the powerful. Survivors deserve to be heard, not redacted. Justice deserves sunlight, not excuses. And the American people deserve truth, not gatekeeping. Share this video. Spread the word. Raise your voice. Because the louder we get, the harder it becomes for them to hide. Subscribe, stay loud, and stay vigilant. Because the fight for truth is only just beginning, and institutions tremble when the public refuses to look away.